Alright, hey everyone, this is Ash. Welcome back to the King's Speech. So not as big an introduction as the one I just recorded for my Alita video, but I'll kind of cover a little bit of the same bases, just for anyone that doesn't check out everything. So as noted in the other video, for this weekend expect a Vinland Saga Volume 2 read-through, along with a short Volume 1 review at the start of that. Expect the Battle Angel Alita one, which I'm going to be doing right now. I already did a reaction to One Piece Chapter 955, so that's already uploaded on my channel. And today I'm going to also do a small theory speculation kind of video, just talking about, what I personally expect to see going forward now that we've finally reached the end of Act 2 of Wano, and we're probably going to get to see some other stuff, so I'm going to do a little bit of speculation on that. And then apart from that, I just want to address, because I get a few comments every week, from people that enjoy the Alita stuff, kind of asking me how many videos and things to expect per week. So I'd say, as a general rule of thumb, for the next little while, expect one video of Vinland Saga and one video of Alita every week as the absolute minimum that I'll be putting out. Depending on timing and everything else, I might do more than one video of each week, but that will be like on a case-by-case basis. That's not going to be like a regular thing. So rule of thumb, one video of each every week, and if I can, I'll try to layer stuff on top of it, on top of that as well. And then also regarding that, I think last week was the only exception where I didn't manage to do Vinland Saga Volume 2 along with Alita, just because of some other stuff that came up. So in order of priority, I will always prioritize Alita over Vinland Saga, just because Alita is a series that is more popular on my channel. A lot more people seem to like my Alita read-through stuff than the other ones. So because of that, because of the fact that Alita is a series I am reading for the first time, I will prioritize it over Vinland Saga, which is a series I've already kind of gone through. I'm just doing the read-through more to kind of promote the series a little bit. So yeah, apart from that, I think they're covered everything else. So yeah, apart from that, I'll just quickly note that if anyone that's watching the videos, please do subscribe to my channel, if you like my videos, just because it does help me, once I get more viewers, I can actually get a dedicated channel, for everything I'm doing here, rather than just, youtube.com/whatever, the string of characters and numerals and stuff is. And also, better reach just means I can try to do more series, more read-throughs, and kind of just up the quality of some stuff a little bit. So if you do like my content, do please like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. And if you're on Twitter, retweeting it to kind of help me reach a wider audience is also great. I really appreciate that. And that's it. I think without further ado, with my little, cute little partner here, we're going to dive into Battle Angel Alita, Chapter 20, Inheriting the Dream. So you see, again, with the announcers on the TV going, S-Dog Motors Alita's maintenance team has announced the 4 other members of the 5-man challenger team that will take on Jasgun the Champion. Number 88, Crusher Ida Kati. So you have number 88, Crusher Ida Kati. Number 7, Crimson Wind Zafal Taki. To much surprise, number 50, Teigel. And he's just crying as he's like, slow and steady won the race. And number 1, Caligula Armburst. And someone's shouting, this is a joke. Why would the champ of Second League team up with a bunch of third-rate wimps? Oh, that's Caligula just screaming that out. So you have the team statement ends with, P.S. Anyone who complains about the arrangement is a coward. And you have someone just screaming, ah! So you see Jasgun being operated on by Ito. His sister goes, so Big Brother's going to fight against them next? Jasgun's like, that's right. And so as Ito's operating on Jasgun, he goes, there we go. And he thinks to himself, I've set it up so that if he has another flatline spasm, I can send Chimera's brainwaves to revive him remotely at the flip of a switch. It's shoddy work, but it's all that I can do at the moment. And so Ito goes, by the way, Jasgun, I'm curious. And Jasgun's like, what is it? And so Ito goes, the brain augmentation surgery that led to your flatlining episodes. Who performed it on you? So Jasgun's kind of silently contemplated for a second, and then he responds, I was involved in a huge accident just after I reached the Motorball Top League as an up-and-coming rookie. My brain was heavily damaged, and it was only a matter of time before I wasted away. And you see the accident that has Jasgun is like you see this huge iron pole just embedded in his chest. And you see that a piece of metal has just kind of impaled him in the brain there. And he continues, then a cyber physician named Desti Nova showed up. He performed a miraculous restoration of my brain over a 2-week period and left without even accepting any payment. I was unconscious during all of this, but from what I hear tell, he had the same mark on his forehead as you do, Dr. Ito. And Chimera's like, the doctor mark. And Ito thinks to himself, I knew it, a Zalamite. And Jasgun goes, if he hadn't done that brain surgery on me, I would not even be alive, much less Motorball champion. I do not hate him for my spasms. I am grateful. You see the next day, you see Ed going to this old wonky repair shop with just these piles of cars outside called Braid House. And he sees, hey, you get the thing done yet? You see this short, just jacked up, muscular looking guy going, yo, that US dog, here it is. So he throws him a wrapped bundle. And so Ed unravels it and he sees just one of Alita's blades. And he goes, what a beaut. And the guy goes, in order to reforge 2 blades into one, I added some rare earth to refine the edge. So you have rare earth as a category of earth elements, 17 in total, including scandium, yttrium, and lanthanum. And he goes, that's one hard, tough blade. You want to touch up the edge, you'll need a super pressurized stream or ultrasonic drill. And Ed goes, reminds me of my playing days. Back then, Jasgun and I were major rivals. His machine cross couldn't get the better of my blade techniques. But then there was the accident and we both got maimed. That accident changed our lives. When I made it back to the track, I shot expensive nerve accelerants into my brain in the hopes of catching up to Jasgun. But eventually, he became the undefeated champ, while I turned into just another ex-motorballer junkie, suffering from terminal frost withdrawals due to all the accelerants. You see Ed's arm just rattling slowly, and he's thinking to himself, why does he get all the glory? It ain't fair. It just ain't fair, man. So he goes again, he's just looking at the blade, kind of idolizing it, and he goes, heh, can't wait to see Alita take it to Jasgun with this beauty of a weapon. She's gonna do what I couldn't and take over Motorball. So he goes, so how much is it going to cost me, Ramdow? And Ramdow's like, after all the time we've known each other, I don't want your chips, Ed. But if that player of yours ever kicks the bucket, send me the wet sock. He's like, I'll reuse the material for another blade. You see the next page, you just see from the scrapyard, they look up at Zalem. You see a bunch of men just, setting up a little prayer thing with a burning barrel going, O God above, holy Ariel Zalem that sits upon his throne over us all, please bend your mighty ear to the humble prayers of your devout servants. And you see Alita just walking along on a scrap heap up above them. And someone calls out, Alita. And you see on this giant stone pillar, Ito's just crouched up on top waiting for her. Alita's like, why did you call me out here? Why should I hear you out? So Ito looks over at Zalem and he goes, the view of Zalem is great here. I was doing a bit of research. It turns out most of the Motorball circuit facilities were built and funded through the factory. In other words, the sport itself is a governance tool utilized by Zalem to burn off the frustration and stress of the scrapyard citizen as the population grows. And then you see him looking down at the people just worshipping Zalem. And he goes, and people desire objects of worship too. Did you think that playing motorball would make you an idol, a hero? And Alita's like, no. And she goes, when I lost Yugo, I felt such terrible pain and loneliness that I thought I would surely die. But it was my regrets that kept me alive. I couldn't stand the thought that I would die a nobody, a loser, having let Zalem take everything away from me. Pity and sympathy were even more painful to me than death. And so Motorball was a place where I could find salvation. Oh my god, I love her so much. She continues, I don't regret getting involved with the sport. I've met many people, fought hard, and even grown a little bit. And Ito's like, that sounds like something you'd say. Do you remember what you told me ages ago? No matter how much I might seem to change, I'll still be the same Alita you've always known. I trust those words of yours. No matter how you might change or where you go, you're family to me, Alita, and family is irreplaceable. So he turns around and he waves to her as he leaves, and he goes, if you ever get tired of Motorball, you can always come back home. Not to put pressure on you right before your game against Jasgun. Alita's just thinking to herself, Ito. And you see that night at the scrapyard, Jasgun's going to see someone who's crouched next to a little flame barrel just cooking something. And he's like, is that you, Jasgun? I figured you'd be coming by. And you see this old robotic guy with this little, straw hat, rounded straw hat. And Jasgun goes, Master. And he goes, come then. And Jasgun goes, very well. So you see them both kind of just get into their battle stances where they're like this. And you see a Voom as the edges of this master's fingers just start kind of vibrating a little bit. And you see a shh. What the hell are they doing? So they kind of just start inching slowly together. And you see this cat next to them. And as their fingers touch, you hear zit. And the cat just goes with a hiss and a swoop and falls dead. His master's like, And behind him you see what looks like a bunch of scrap just exploding with a kaboom. And then you see his master's just like left side of the body just breaking apart with a thud. And he goes, excellent work. You're even able to draw ki now. Simply stunning. So you see, draw is a high-level ki counterattack. All waves have certain characteristics in common. Rhythm, which is frequency, strength, which is amplitude, and structure, which is waveform. When two vibrating sources have frequencies that are very close but not identical, the two will gradually pull closer until they're on the same wavelength. When this resonance occurs, there's an exchange of energy between the two sources, and one of the two will absorb all the energy of the other. This is called drawing ki. And you see the little cat that just got killed. Jasgun just picks it up, cradles in his arm, and just holds it. His master goes, but I sense that you still have doubts. So Jasgun's silent for a moment, and he goes, I am afraid of my death. His master goes, I cannot believe I'm hearing those words from your mouth. The essence of machine Kratz is synchronization with moving parts. A machine does not fear death. And Jasgun goes, but I don't want to be a machine. I want to be greater than a machine. And then the master continues, even a human is merely a nanomachine, an incomplete machine of its own. You have a sister. That is the source of your doubt. Kill her. And as his master lays dying, Jasgun just kind of turns his head. He goes, a machine needs no love. You see later that night, Ed's sitting at this little outer side bar. He goes, what'd you say? And he's going, you're quitting Motorball after your bout with Jasgun? And you see Alita just seated at the bar as well, just casually taking a drink. And she goes, you don't have to tell the entire world about it. Besides, it's the last of the 12 games I signed up for in my original contract. And Ed's like, no way, nuh-uh. Listen to me. You're going to face Jasgun in a top league stadium that gets broadcast in Salem. You're going to win, and you're going to be the new motorball superstar. You have the ability to earn every kind of glory for yourself. You have the talent, kid. And Ed's just kind of grabbing her. He's just kind of shaking her. Alita's like, what's going on? This isn't the Ed I know. And she just frees herself from his grip. And she goes, I'm not interested in glory. Ooh. And Ed just smacks her with the whap. And he goes, I'm not going to be held captive by your whims. Come with me. We're going to call Mr. Compson and get your contract renewed. And so as he's dragging Alita along, she just looks really disappointed and sad. And she goes, I'm disappointed. I thought if anyone understood me, it was Ed. And you see a bunch of the people that was going by going, oh, hey, it's Alita. And Ed's like, not now, fellas. We'll sign autographs some other time. And he goes, great, look at this junkie. And you see this guy just approaching Ed with, his jacket, one arm inside his jacket, and he goes, duh, I got a present for Alita. Duh. He pulls out, it looks like a bunch of pipes interconnected together. And Ed's like, look out, Alita. And you see a blam as Ed's hat just goes flying. And Alita's like, Ed! What the hell kind of makeshift weapon is that? And the junkie's like, oh, I got him, lucky me, honeybee entropy. You see, entropy is the gradual transition of energy from order to disorder, or in this case, a rhyme. And with a shock, Alita just blasts the junkie's head, and you see his brains just go flying. And Ed goes, I'll be damned if I ain't the unluckiest son of a bitch. And you see that half his head has just been kind of blown off, and you see blood just leaking from his eye. And he goes, here, Alita, this blade is for you. Listen to me. Don't you lose now. And he goes, ah, damn, there goes my hand. And you see his hands just rattling. He goes, need my med, as the rattling slowly stops and he dies. And you see Alita just shedding a tear as she kind of grips the sword to herself. Ooh, man, just the series just wants me to rip my heart out and just stomp on it. I have chapter 21, Outsider. So you see everyone making their way to the motorball circuit. You see people just placing their bets. And you see the Agrippa circuit. You hear someone commenting, you hear what happened? Alita's trainer got shot by some junkie and went brain dead. Yeah, but I heard Alita's quitting motorball after this game. You think that story's true? So you see all the participants lining up and then everything getting ready for the battle. And then you see more comments where someone's going, hey, did you hear about Jasgun? He's falling apart. From the illness, he's barely able to fight anymore. I heard the real Jasgun is long dead, and the one playing now is just an android built up in Salem. So you see more flashes of the track, of the cameras, of all the screens of people ready to watch the match. And you see just a row of the balls just getting ready to be put in. And you see some machines just playing around with computers as they're setting up for the big match. And then you see this giant light from Salem just washing down onto the circuit, just illuminating it. And you hear a giant raucous scream of "Rah!" as you see Alita just heading out. Just this badass walk of Alita in the middle, with Teigel, Zafal, Ida, and Caligula just walking behind her. And Caligula is just like, ah, just waiting for the crowd's cheers. And Ida Conti's like, yeah. And my poor boy Teigel's just crying. He's like, yeah. And people are just throwing stuff at him. Be like, you suck. Boo, boo. And you see Alita, in one of the washrooms getting prepared for the match. You see just water just dripping down as she's looking at herself in the mirror. And she's thinking, it was my stubborn selfishness that killed Ed. What have I done? You see Umba just crying. He's like, wow. He's like, oh, Ed's like, how am I supposed to live without my buddy Ed anymore? And Alita gives him a hug. And she's like, I'm sorry, Umba. And he's like, look, Alita, I don't know how to live on my own no more. And then you see Alita is just sitting on a barrel outside, wrapped in a blanket, and she's waiting for the match to start. And Ida comes up to her and is like, sis, is it true that you're quitting after this upcoming game? Are you telling me that Motorball was never anything but a stopgap for you? A way to pass the time? And Alita goes, I don't have a life on the circuit. And Ida goes, no Motorballers give their lives to the circuit. We do anything we can to draw the attention of the crowd. That makes my fallen brothers, the hated Armburst, even that Slowpoke Teigel, all fully fledged Motorballers. But you're different, sis. You're not a Motorballer. Not one of us. You're an outsider. Oh man, just gorgeous panel where you see Alita just tested out her blade and she sliced a water drop in half. And she's staring at herself in the mirror and going, that's right. I don't give myself up to anything. I'm an outsider. And you see another giant Ra as Jasgun finally steps onto the stage. You know, the black light just illuminating him as he's looking down at his competitors. And you see, look, he's using both arms today, no handicap. The Emperor's deadly serious this time. And you see him and Alita just exchanging locking gazes and just staring each other down. And Jasgun just smiles. And you see again him in his locker room. And he goes, look, am I really going to die soon? And you see him just down, collapsed on all fours. His body's just badly shaking. And he goes, I feel no pain, but there's a strange sensation in the back of my throat. It's the taste of death. The process of my brain cells crumbling. It's become a flavor I can now taste. The crowd wants to see me brought low and die just like any other person. Someone said that every hero needs to be killed. But I am a champion. He kind of clenches his hands and he picks himself back up. And Chimera comes in and goes, Big brother, win today's game, right? Big brother, do great, here. She gives him this little good luck charm with this googly-eyed robot with his two little hands sticking out like this. And she goes, hey, Chimera made good luck charm. And Jasgun's like, you're better with arts and crafts than you seem. And Chimera's like, Ito said Big Brother doesn't compete anymore after this game. And then Shumira gets to cook for Big Brother every single day. So much work. She goes and just gives him a hug and gives him this endearing little smile. And Jasgun, just gives her like this sad look as he hugs her back. And he's just like, is Big Brother crying? And then Jasgun looks at her and goes, Shumira, you should marry Ito. And she's like, huh? So then Jasgun comes out of the changing room carrying Shumira in his arms. And Ito's outside just waiting for him. And Ito's like, Shumira? And Jasgun's like, I gave her a tranquilizer. She'll be out for 2 hours. And so Ito goes, but Shumira is your lifeline out there. Why would you do that? Okay, this series is going to make me break down in like every few pages. And Jasgun just goes, until now I have fought only for my own sake. But for this final bout, I want to do it for her. I want her to be proud when she claims to be the sister of the champion. And I want her to live strong. And Ito goes, but Jasgun. Jasgun goes, I will not disgrace the circuit. I will return triumphant. Like, I just had a shiver go through me with how badass that scene just was. And you see Jasgun's putting on his helmet and he's finally stepped out to there. And you see Alita and Co. just ready, all ready to go, waiting for the ball to drop. The light changes, and with a boom, you have start! And we have chapter 22, Ars Magna. So you see starting orders, Alita's at the front. You have Zafal behind her, along with Ida, and then behind Zafal is Caligula, and behind Ida is Teigel. And then Jasgun's way at the back of the starting line. So as the lights flash off, you see Jasgun just blowing up a bunch of smoke as he takes off with a whoosh. And he goes, are you watching this, Zalem? Can you see me? There is little time left for me, but I will fight until the last second as the champion that I am. And you see that Alita and Zafal are in the lead, with Ida close behind and Caligula close behind him. Of course, my poor boy Teigel's way at the back, and Jasgun's hard on the heels of Caligula. And Caligula notices that Jasgun's right behind him, and Jasgun brings up one of his arms and he's going for it. And Caligula tries to put up one of his arms, and Jasgun basically just Jasgun sets the drills on his arms to go, and he just crushes Caligula's arm right up at the shoulder and just blasts into it. And you see Caligula just whipping out his little chain blade to wrap around Jasgun's helmet. Ooh. And he's just demolished him. So you see Jasgun just wrapping it around. He just slices all the way through Caligula's head, and he just rips him apart and continues on. And then you see Teigel going straight from behind, rushing straight at Jasgun. Jasgun just jumps over him, and Teigel just slams straight into the audience rafters and just crushes a bunch of them. And then you see the next one, you see Ida doing a signature move where he plants both of his fists into the ground and he kicks up behind him at Jasgun's face. Ooh, boy, he's just destroying them. So you see Jasgun just grabs his arm and snakes it around his leg and just starts grinding it with his little rotators. And he just grabs Ida Kati up. And he just completely rips him apart as well with both his arms. And you see Ida fall to the ground. Ooh. God damn. So you see Alita just breaking as she sees Ida going to the ground. And you see Zafal reaching out to grab the ball. And Jasgun grabs the chain blade of Caligula's from behind around his head and whips it around past Alita, and he slices Zafal in half as she's reaching for the ball. And so Alita finally goes after him. Alita's rushing towards Jasgun. They're going towards each other, and she sends out the blade, and Jasgun uses the Caligula's chain blade to block. And Alita's just slices clean through it. And Jasgun puts up a hand to Alita's face as the blade gets blocked. And with a giant boom, she just gets sent flying back, and she slams into the side rafters and goes flying around it. And with a crack, her helmet just comes off. And you see Umba going, "Ah, Alita!" And the ball just keeps bouncing on. And you see Emperor Jasgun just put on a driven display of excellence. He absolutely shattered the challenger team in mere seconds. So Jasgun just bounces the ball off kicks the ball off his hamstring and just grabs it. And he's like, ugh. And Jasgun's like, "What is this? The limit of your power? Show me this Panzerkunst of yours." Alita's like, "You bastard." The next minute, she's surprised as she again goes into a dream state, and she sees this absolute barren wasteland. And she's like, what is this? And she's like, It's like, am I hallucinating this or just dreaming? And she's like, no, I recognize this place, this view. And you see this robot coming up from behind her in this tattered, covered cloak. And he calls out and says, "Despite your double X chromosomes, you have conquered my training, Yoko." And Alita's thinking, Yoko? He's like, "Meister." And she's like, "No, that's not my name." And so the mysterious one goes, "Before you leave on your journey, I shall pass this gamins on to you." So you have XX chromosomes, in other words, female. Human sex are determined by combinations of two kinds of chromosomes. Male chromosomes are XY, and double X. Double X is the German way of saying double X. And Alita goes, "No, Meister, my name is..." And then she snaps out of the reverie back into real time. And she thinks to herself, Red Wasteland? Meister Yoko? She's like, who am I? I'm scared I'll feel like I'm no longer be the same person anymore. Nothing about me is solid. Nothing is certain. She continues, but I need something. Some kind of proof if I'm going to keep on living. So I've got to. And so right now they're kind of like the shallow little bowl depression. And so Jasgun makes his way down, rushes towards Alita. And with a rah, Alita just like whoosh. And as Jasgun's arm goes flying by, she just dodges it with the side. So she smacks it aside with this hand, and she brings her blade around with the other to target his face helmet. Ooh. And as he's doing that, Jasgun comes up with a knee and knees Alita right in the stomach. And her blade just glances off his helmet with a sing. And Alita goes flying backwards from Jasgun's knee. And she kind of just like digging her hands into the pavement to slow herself down. And Jasgun also goes flying back with a thwam. And then you see that Alita's blade actually sliced his mask clean off. And you see the announcer going, the champion's mask fell off. And so Jasgun's just got like this... I don't want to say that. So Jasgun's got this maniacal grin on his face. So he goes, so, you matched the key of my Sidewinder and overcame it in that very instant of recognition. Ha ha ha, brilliant! Alita's thinking, Jasgun, if there's any kind of proof I can gain from you, proof of my identity, then I will fight like my life depends on it. So Jasgun goes, ha ha ha, we stand within the very world, Alita. And it goes with a whoosh. And this is all of the glory of our world, the object that we all fight over. And he hoists the little ball up. And he goes, but this thing is not what you or I seek, is it? Alita just gives him that grin as she gets ready to fight. She's like, feh. Like there's something about him that reminds me of myself. So Jasgun takes the ball and just tosses it off to the side. And he goes, this little trinket is meaningless to our duel. Ha! I will not kill you. I have a deal with Dr. Ito. But remember well what is about to happen. And you see the announcer going, showdown! As there are only 2 combatants left, the victor of this competition will be decided in a one-on-one confrontation. The motorball no longer matters. Just, this spread is just, oh, man. So you see the audience is just losing it. They're going, rah, yeah! And then you see Ito in the audience, sitting in the audience going, I have 2 bottles of wine here. They're fancy Zalamite wine acquired through Vector's black market connections. One is to celebrate when Alita returns. The other is to celebrate your brother's triumph. We'll have a toast when everyone comes back safe and sound. And then you see the ambulance crew coming just to pick up, Zafal and everyone else. And you have Caligula going, monster. He's a monster. And then you see a giant forklift clamp coming down to latch onto Teigel to pull him out. And like, okay, lift. And Teigel's just screaming, boo, Alita! And the mechanics were like, what the? He's still kicking. Calm down, pal. You're done for the day. The next one you see, here I come, Alita. And you see a giant whoosh as Jasgun just launches his fist forward. And Alita just dodges underneath it with a voom. And she does a flip and just starts kicking Jasgun in the face. And it's just like they're evenly matched. That shrimpy little players matching the undefeated champion Jasgun blow for blow. Alita goes, the way I see it, the machine crot's weakness is the simplicity of its rhythm. As long as they can catch that first blast of ki when it comes and stay out of its way, my Panzerkunst wins out in a close range fight. One of the great Panzerkunst techniques is to mimic the enemy's rhythm, throw it off, and melt away into feints and tricks. It's called the Einsatzrhythmen guerrilla rhythms. And you see Jasgun and Alita just trading blows back and forth. Jasgun's going, my sight My brain structure is beginning to crumble and die out. No, not yet. I just need a little bit more time. Damn you. And he's just lashing out, and his vision is just getting super blurry. And you see Alita just stopping his hand with one of hers. And he's going, I can't lose just yet. And you see him spinning on his arm motors as it's spinning around. And it grabs Alita and just starts swirling her around his arm. And he goes, Mode 47, Alligator Snapper. And he just slams Alita face first into the ground. And then he kneels down on the back of her neck to immobilize her. And you have used the motors on his arms to deliver a bone-crunching throw. Alita's life hangs her in the balance. And you see someone... see someone in the audience go, kill her, kill that punk, split her head open. And Ito just gets super mad and grabs one of his expensive wine bottles and smashes it on his head. And he's like, oops. And Alita can't move because Jasgun's pinned her down right on the neck with his knee. And he's like, you're finished, Alita. He's going down for the killing blow. Oh my god. With a giant boom, Teigel just comes flying at Jasgun. He's like, Alita, I came to save you. Jasgun's like, who are you? And he's like, my name is... the Immortal Teigel! He just goes, slams first right into Jasgun and just slams him into the wall of the arena. And he's just dragging him along it as he's driving along. And the announcer's like, what's this? Teigel has barged into the one-on-one showdown. That's certainly an exciting way to break the rules. Alita's like, no, Teigel, get away from here. And you see Jasgun using both his arms to try and push Teigel off. He's like, ha! And Teigel's like, there's only one thing I'm proud of, and it's that my big tough wetzoik ain't never been smashed once. Even the champion can't break through my armor. And you see a duh? And he says, this boost. And then you see Teigel's armor just exploding off of him. And then he just bursts into flame as he's just going along. You see smoke just pouring off of him. And you see, and the announcer calls out, and Teigel bursts into flames, but he just keeps moving onward. And then Jasgun's calling it, stop, stop! God. This series is going to make me cry over Teigel, and that's not cool. And you see Teigel with just tears streaming out of his face, going, I'm glad I didn't quit Motorball. I stuck around, and I got to fight against the champ at the very end. And you see him just going and just crashes, and Teigel just explodes, and Jasgun just goes flying off. And Alita's just staring in shock. She's seeing that. She goes, Teigel. And her eyes start welling up with tears. She's like, no, don't cry. And you see a wall foom as the flames just consume Teigel. And you see Jasgun just slowly standing up with a wobble. And then Alita just rushes up to him with a yeah! And she just starts wailing on him. And the announcer goes, Alita lands a furious combination on Jasgun's body. She's pummeling the Emperor of the Circuit. And you have the announcer, you have another guy in the audience going, yeah, kill him, kill that Jasgun. And Ito's getting mad again. He's like, what? He's about to smack him with the wine bottle. He's like, oh. And he grabs the pipe out of his bag and just smacks the other guy on the head. Like, shut up. And then you see Jasgun thinking, I'm being struck. I must defend against these attacks. What's wrong? What are my arms doing? Where have they gone? Or my legs? Where are my legs now? What is this? I'm hollow inside, empty. Where is my body gone? So you see only the upper half of Jasgun's body, and you see the other lower half is just completely gone, and the upper half is just slowly disintegrating. It's like, is this all that I really am? Even this tiny bit of me is melting into nothingness. Give me a body, a body. And then Alita rushes forward with a double palm fist with a ha! And then you see Jasgun just vomiting up something as he goes flying backwards. And he goes with a foom as he's been launched into the inferno of Teigel's body. And you see the charm that Chimera gave him just flying above his face as the fire burns away the little strap holding it. And as it's going flying, he imagines his sister's face giving it to him. And he thinks Chimera as he grabs it in his arm. And with a thud, he falls into there. And Alita's waiting outside, still in a defensive stance, and she's like, I used my Herzheulen to destroy the motors in his artificial heart. He shouldn't be able to stand again. And then you see her as Jasgun stands up. Just... I'm just going to have to show you this because I cannot describe it in enough detail what it looks like. And you see Alita thinking back to the mysterious man she called Meister, telling her, Yoko, what is the ultimate technique that we seek to gain through the heights of our discipline? When in our mechanical forms we regain the unified senses of our air leap, our earthly bodies. Witness, the cosmos, the very universe resides within you, giving form to the Ars Magna, the great art. So Alita puts out her arm, you see electricity just crackling around it, and with a rah, she goes forward towards Jasgun. And with the yah, oh shit. And before she can even do anything, Jasgun comes in with the cut right to the middle of her chest. And he just blows, the punch just blows right through her body, and she gets sent flying back. And Alita's like, I lost. Utterly and totally. I see a swish, whoosh, and you see Umba's face as he's like, Alita! And you see, you did great, you fought like hell, Alita. And she's like, Umba? And he's like, oh, but I guess this is it for us, huh? And he's like, wait, where's Jasgun? So Umba points behind her. And Alita kind of looks up from her bed and she's looking. And she goes, I wonder if that was an illusion. And she goes, no. That tremendous blow of yours woke me up. Thank you, Jasgun. And you see Jasgun, just covered in foam at his death, standing tall where he, landed his final blow. And you have Ida going to Alita's safe return and the man who became a god. You have Alita, Part 4, Ars Magna, end. Okay, alright, we're gonna go straight into Volume 3 because I cannot leave that there. I will probably only cover one chapter in this before I wrap this up, but let's dive straight into it with Chapter 23, Lost Sheep. So you see, there's plenty of soup for all. Line up, folks. And it's like, It's like, come on, this will cheer you up. Tomorrow's sure to be a better day. See this guy just going, what did I just say, huh? Get in line. And so you see the lady that's handing us the soup going, hey, don't get violent. And you see this half cyborg going, I'm sorry, Sarah, sometimes I don't know what overcomes over me. And she goes, never forget your generous, forgiving side. You're such a kind, caring man. And he goes, I'll try. And you see him just kind of, as he's watching her. And then you see the television announcer going, tonight at Agrippa Circuit, at long last, Emperor Jasgun will face his challenge from Alita the Killing Angel. And then you see this guy just looking at her, and his face just goes all horrified. And he just screams out with the giant, yeah! He's just grabbing his place as he falls onto his back. And someone's like, hey, pal. And he's like, it's like, not her. He's like, who? Her? Who? Calm down. You see you see a picture of Ali just going, yeah, she's going like this. The guy goes, he's like, no, this is wrong. He's like, this isn't my face. He's like, He's like, what's he doing? Ooh. This is a pan. That's who it was. So Zapan just grabs his face and just rips it off. He's like, what's he doing? And Sarah tries to go, stop it, no, Zapan. With an IE, he just rips Sarah's head off. and goes flying with a splotch. He's like, oh no, what have I? He's like, Sarah. So yeah, former hunter warrior, wanted for murder, 50,000 chip bounty. Note, injured face, Zapan. Then you have 2 years later, bar New Kansas. You have Ito in his familiar, leather trench coat getup, heading down the bar, and you see Shamir running up, going, Ito. The bar like, hey, yo, doc. He's like, haha, good evening, barkeep. And so Ito's like, is the waitress experiment actually working out for you? And Shamir's like, hey. He's like, you bet, the regulars love her. And the little child comes up and is like, Ito, dose da. And Ito picks up the little girl and is like, what's this? Aren't you up past your bedtime, Koyomi? He's like, and you hear Ito asking, where's Alita? Oh, man, you see Alita just playing piano, in this sweet-ass jazz getup. Going, in the dark, I'll see you like an angel. No matter how you try like an angel. Note, I will not attempt to sing because I do not want to subject anyone to that. She goes, you've nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. Angel's dissension, your time is nigh. Angel's dissension, your soul is mine. Always mine. You try to claw, you try to fight, but on I come, moving through the night. My wings enfold your shivering form, and as you sleep, I'll take you home. Your soul is mine, always mine. Move in, and all the audience is just like, yeah, yeah. Nito's like, bravo, bravo. All this time you had me thinking you were just a fighter, but there was a sensitive musician underneath. Lega's like, ha! If you think about it, rhythm and melody are important in both music and battle. So Ito goes, how's living on your own treating you? Alita's like, it's great. Know what I'm tackling now? Ancient literature. Are you familiar with Hans Henny Jan? And Ito's like, never heard of him. You have these robots coming and be like, hey, awesome set, Alita. We're gonna head out and do some hunting. Ooh, excuse me. Alita's like, thanks. Take care, guys. And then Ito's like, I have a letter for you from Umba. And Alita's like, what does he want? And Ito's like, I guess it's about the you-know-what. Oh, we have Hans Henry Jan, 1894 to 1959, the great unknown German playwright. His signature work is 13 Uncanny Stories. So Alita opens up Umbra's letter and it's, how you doing, Alita? As for me, my new engineering company with Mr. Thompson is coming along fine and dandy. You can probably guess why I'm writing you this letter. It's about your old body, the Berserker that you left in storage in your motorball days. You know, the one that Ed sold for cash without telling anyone? I'm guessing he did that because he didn't want you to quit motorball and go back to your old life. But that never sat right with me. So I hired some folks to track down where that Berserker body's been since then. Lydia goes, it says he found out who the last person to buy the Berserker body was. And Ito's like, that thing is far too dangerous. We have to get it back just to keep it from falling into the wrong hands. So Umbo's letter continues. I sent someone to this guy's house to negotiate a purchase on at least 3 occasions, but he's real eccentric and he won't even entertain a discussion. Lydia's like, it says he's a doctor named Dusty. Oh my god. Dusty Nova, and Umba included the address too. And Ito's thinking, Dusty Nova, it's him. Lydia's like, do you know him? And Ito goes, well, we've never met before, but I've always wanted the chance to talk to him. And he goes, that settles it. I'm going to go visit this man and buy the body back. And Alita's like, I'll join you. And Ito goes, I'd rather not complicate matters. Just let me handle this one. And Shamira's like, Shamira will go too. Komi ga go. And Ito's like, you girls stay here and guard the house. Right, go. And you see the 2 robot hunters that left the bar earlier going, oh man, Alita's just the best. Yeah, what I wouldn't give to just plant one good smack, mwah, on those lips of hers. And the other one's like, mwah, keep dreaming, pal. It's like, yo. It's like, buzz off. And then you see someone shouting in shadows up above watching these two. Lands with a whoosh down behind them. And with a boom, impales one with like a broken off stop sign. He impales it in the head, and he jumps onto the back of the other one with an ah. And he goes, "Since when did you turn into Alita's little lapdogs?" And the guy's like, "Wait, Zapan? Is that you, Zapan?" He's like, "Why, I'm touched. You recognize me." He's like, "Why are you doing this? Do you still hold a grudge over what Alita did to you?" And Zapan goes, "Oh, I do. Don't you remember what happened? Do you remember what she took from me? You'd better." And he goes, "It won't end like this. I've got to make sure she gets a taste of the same hell I've been through." And the guy's like, "Ha, you're crazy, man. You really think you've got the strength to overpower Alita?" And Zapan's arm, he's holding a knife and just starts twitching. And the other guy goes, "She's unbelievable. Who do you think killed that monster Makaku? The rest of us are nothing but insects under her boot." Ooh, boy. And Zapan's just starting to shake, and he's going, "Ugh." The guy continues, "She went over to the western sector and completely conquered the entire sport of motorball." And Zapan just starts crying. He's like, "Ah!" And you see tears just coming out of his eyes. And he goes, "She's a demon, a devil." And the guy goes, "That's right, and she's far more powerful than a miserable cast-off like you." And he goes, "Now's my chance. Die, you psycho." And he tries to put a pick down on Zapan. Zapan takes his knife and just plants it in the middle of his head. And then Zapan goes, "I need strength. Give me the strength to kill the devil, Sarah." And you see that he's taken the woman's head and he's holding it in a preserved jar a la Futurama style. And we have chapter 24, Dog Master. So, coming up on the 50-minute mark, so I will end that there. I think I mentioned in my last video, I'll try to do like a short Alita review summary thing, just kind of talking about my thoughts up in the series up to this point, especially now that we've kind of finished the motorball arc and we're moving on to the next one. This series is just continuing to kill it every chapter. And the fact it almost made me cry over Teigel, I think, is a testament to how well written this series is. Like, oh my god, I do not have enough words. So I'm going to try to get some thoughts together and hopefully do a short review video sometime this weekend. Like I said, I hope you all enjoyed the read-through with Alita and everything else. Like I mentioned at the start of the video, I will try my best to do one video a week. I will try my best to do maybe another one for Alita and Vinland Saga sometime tomorrow. No guarantees if that will come out tomorrow. That'll be a nice kind of surprise if it does. If not, expect at least the review one to be out tomorrow, and then expect part 1-ish, I guess, of volume 3 next week. But apart from that, yeah, I hope you all enjoyed the Alita read-through thus far, and will stay around for the rest of it. And like I mentioned at the start of the video, if you do like my content and my read-throughs, please do like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Because if I get over to 100 subscribers, then I'll be able to have a dedicated channel and kind of help me build this up a little bit more, so I can start doing more content, more read-throughs, and kind of try to get, you know, hopefully more people invested in all these series that I love. I do appreciate all the support everyone has shown me so far, especially for the Alita videos. I did not expect such a great response, but I truly do appreciate it. And until next time, this is Ash. Talk to you all later.